Good morning, everybody. Before we begin today, I would like to just acknowledge the most recent inflation numbers, down to 5.6%. Good news for the economy, and shows that we leave the government's economic position in an improving position for the incoming government.
Have you thought about your future?
Yes, of course, and I'll be having a conversation with the team about that shortly.
Do you intend to stay?
Look, I indicated on Saturday night I wanted the opportunity to talk to the team before making any decisions about that, and we have the opportunity to do that today. My real focus at the moment is two things, really. One, making sure that we ensure a smooth transition to the new government. I think we owe that to the New Zealand people to make sure that the transition is smooth and that we execute our responsibilities as the caretaker government responsibly over the next however long it takes for them to form a government, and that may be a matter of days or it may be a matter of weeks. And then the second is to make sure that Labour transitions into being a very formidable opposition as quickly as possible. I'm committed to playing whatever role necessary to ensure that both of those things happen.
So you are committed to stay
right now?
As I've indicated, I want to have those conversations with the caucus before I make public.
What questions will you
Prime Minister, what should we read into that? You walked in with a lot of MPs. That tends to happen when big things are happening. You also took the last 2 days off to reflect. What should we read into that?
I wouldn't read too much into that at all. I think it just shows that we're picking ourselves up again. It's been a pretty brutal weekend, and the team have been incredible actually, in sort of supporting each other, supporting those MPs who are not returning, I think we'll regroup as a team.
In terms of Prime Minister, are you still hungry for politics?
Look, I want to have that conversation with the team before I make any decisions about my own future, and I think that that's only right that I give them the opportunity.
In terms of your wider concerns,
without talking to the team, are you still hungry to be in the job? Are you still hungry to be in
Look, I'm not done with politics yet.
in terms of your wider caucus, have you had any conversations about any of your other senior front bench MPs leaving at any stage?
Look, I'm going to leave it up to each of them to make their own public pronouncements on that at appropriate times, if that is what they want to do.
But have they talked to you about this?
A couple of people have, but look, it's fair that they make their own.
So we can expect
decisions
some
and
resignation announcements from your MPs?
Look, I'm not going to announce things on their behalf.
You spoke last week on the campaign trail about that momentum and getting the numbers up. It didn't come through. Have you had much reflection time in the last couple of days to think about perhaps what you were hearing versus how people actually ended up voting?
I mean, I think, look, regardless of what comes out of the next few days, when you lose an election, you need to take a bit of time to reflect. And a big part of that is, as a new opposition, you have to take some time to listen. And I think that, regardless of what role I play in that, I will certainly play my part in ensuring that as an opposition we take some time to reflect and to listen.
Have you had any specific thoughts about what it might have been, whether it was policy-wise, style-wise, how you ran the campaign that might have contributed to not bringing people along with you?
Plenty of time to reflect on that, but as I indicated on Saturday, I think right the way through the campaign there was a certain mood for change that proved to be very, very difficult to shift.
Are you still committed to staying full 3-year term in Parliament as the MP for Lemutaka?
I've made the commitment to the people of my electorate each 3 years when I put my name forward that I'm committing to 3 years, and regardless of what role I play during that time, I owe that to my constituents who place their faith in me to be their local MP.
Do you have a view as an outside observer as to whether New Zealand First should be involved in a government with national act?
That's really a matter for them. But look, Christopher Luxon indicated before the election that he could pull together a three-way government if that is what is required, and I think it's now incumbent on him to do that as quickly as possible.
Apart from tired, how are you feeling?
Look, I remain very optimistic about New Zealand's future. Politics aside, I think New Zealand is a fantastic country with a very bright future ahead of it. I got into politics to make a difference, as I've indicated. I've still got some energy to contribute in whatever way that might be in the future.
How was it being able to spend time with your family post-election?
It was really lovely, actually. I've been able to have a few mornings with the kids and so on, and I think they have very much appreciated it.
A lot of people after your speech were asking the question, who is Tony?
Yeah.
Who is Tony?
Tony is a very special woman, just to be clear. It's Tony with an I. Didn't quite mean to trigger that set of rumours on Saturday night, but we've known each other for a long time. We met some time ago. Our lives sort of went in different directions, and there was quite a period where we didn't have any contact with each other, and then we got back in touch this year, and so it's been a highlight of the year.
How did she feel about being hard launched on that scale?
Hard launched is a bit of a rough term. We had talked about it beforehand.
How's it been dating?
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here. And head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.